Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode number 2 or 3, maybe 2, where I will be showing you how to do what it is I do. So I asked in the last video for people to reach out and tell me what they would like to see or what they would like to learn. And one thing that popped up a couple of times is how to cast my masks. And so I will be going through today's episode showing you how to cast or how I cast my mask. There are a lot of different ways to do it, but I'm going to show you 2 ways to cast a urethane mask. So let's jump right in. Let's start with our mold. This is the Jitters mold. This is a 2-piece injectable matrix mold. As you can see, this side is very messy. It doesn't matter. It's just a little spillover. But it's 2 pieces, so this way I can inject an even thickness throughout the entire mask. So once I open this up, you can see you have all of the clean detail of jitters on the front end, and then you have everything on the back end here. So what I will do first, put that down, is use some coffee stirrers. Now, these are what I use to actually vent out the resin and all the air, so that way there's no air bubbles stuck in the piece. I made this little tool. It's just a piece of steel rod. I can't tell you how thick, but what I can tell you is that it actually fits the thickness of the coffee stirrers perfectly. So why is that a good thing? I'll show you. All along the edge here, you will see different holes that actually are vents for the piece itself. Now, what I'll do is either I'll stick the straw through the hole right up to that point and let it go. So I'm going to do that for each one of these holes, so that way the piece can be vented properly. Now, this does take a little bit of time, but like I said, it guarantees that there's not going to be any air in the piece whatsoever. And if anything's sticking up, I tend to just put my finger right in there and flush it up with the silicone itself. I also, if you notice, I am wearing gloves. That's very important because I don't want the piece contaminated at all with oils from my hand. It's not going to ruin the piece. I personally like to work clean. So yeah, just gonna continue to stick them right through up to that point. Use my finger, push it right on through. I used to actually do this by hand without this little piece of steel, and man, I broke so many of these straws trying to do that. It was ridiculous. So, like I said, just constantly poking it right on through. And I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video from here. That way you guys aren't just listening to me talk jargon just over and over. So, all right. All right, now that all the straws are put through, I'm going to go back and make sure that they're all flush with the silicone itself. Just like I said, by flushing them out with the top of my finger here, just pushing them all the way down. If they come through, it's not a big problem. The further they come through the silicone this way, the less that air can actually travel into it. So you want them flush. All right, now that that's done, I'm going to go in. See if I can get something to stand this up. Anything? Thank you, Miss Monster. Put that right there. Okay. I actually use PAM sometimes, just regular old PAM, to lubricate this, which is actually a vinyl tube. Now you'll see here I have a pour spout. I'll take the vinyl tube and I'll just slip it right in there and have that flush wipe off the excess. Okay, so now all of our vent straws are in, our injection port is in. What do we do next? So what I'm going to do, take some baby powder and I'm going to brush that over the surface. Now I'm not going to pour baby powder all over the surface. What I'll do is put a little bit in a cup here and I'll just brush it on. I don't want to break the straws behind, so I don't want to lay this down. So I'm just going to brush this, all the baby powder here. Also, when I do this, I wear a mask, a respirator. I recommend wearing a respirator while doing this because anything that's in a powder form can hurt you in the long run if you breathe it in too much. So, all right, that piece, the back half is powdered. Now I'm going to go on to the first half, the detail here. Same thing. I'm just going to brush baby powder right in here till the entire surface has been covered. All right. Now that the entire surface has been covered with baby powder, both sides, back and front, I'm going to go in with my air hose and blow out the excess. Like I said, this is where I use my mask. I'll hold my breath and walk away. Okay. So the point of the baby powder is to create or actually get rid of surface tension. I want there to be a little bit of a barrier between the silicone and the resin itself. So that's the first step. Second step, I use the universal mold release from Smooth On. Once again, make sure you're wearing a respirator, okay? Pop this on. Other side. And walk away for a few minutes. All right, now that everything's released and everything has just set for a minute, I bolted everything back together using these bolts. Little tip, whenever I go to bolt these back together, my wing nuts here, they're actually reversed. That way these little arms on the wing nuts, the wings, bite into the resin, and there's going to be no opening of this thing once I shut it. Okay, so all of this is secure. Next step, I have a syringe here. I'm going to put that right there in the spout that I already planted. I'm going to turn this around to make it easier for me. Set this down just to the side here. If that wants to settle that way, so be it. Nothing wrong with that. So the plunger here in the syringe, I actually coated this with some Vaseline, a light layer of Vaseline, because I like to reuse these over and over. If you don't, the rubber here, the urethane, will actually expand and it'll just get harder and harder to use until the point where you have to throw it away. So take care of your tools, they'll take care of you. Also, little note here, when I go to fill up the mold, it's going to get to it's going to hit its max capacity, at which point I'll remove the syringe and I'll put this little piece of clean clay right there in the tip of the vinyl tube. That way there's going to be no back pressure, no spillage, and it will just set nicely. So what I like to use is Smooth Cast 320 by Smooth On. That's one of many materials that I use, but that's my go-to when it comes to casting these masks. What you will also need is a scale. This is a food grade scale that I got off of Amazon. It is nasty, but so be it. It belongs to an artist. Also, popcorn buckets. You can get these online on Amazon, very cheap. So let's turn this around. Oh, also you'll need tongue depressors, which are over here. Some tongue depressors. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and measure out material, and we'll get started. You guys will get to see the process of all of this fun stuff. All right. Also, yet again, you do want to wear a respirator with this. I think this is the right amount. We'll see once I inject it. If not, I'll hurry up and throw some more in. It is a hot day, so if I make a mistake, you guys will get to see that too. It's all part of you know, this kind of video. So I'm going to pour that right into the syringe. Bloop, 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 bloop. Up to the top there. Take my plunger. Secure it. And slowly push down. I do not go all of the way because I don't want to inject air in there. That's pointless to do that. That defeats the purpose. So just slowly, 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 just keep going until hopefully I hit a point. Okay, you'll see the resin begin to come out of the straws here. I'll inject a little bit more just so you guys can see that. That's what you're looking for. So I'm going to remove the syringe, put my thumb right there on top of the vinyl tube, plug it up. I'm going to take this off camera and tilt it a little bit. All right, this thing is full of resin, and any excess resin that you have, always make sure that you keep a mold around so you can just inject your resin into it. That's what I tend to do. So we'll just go ahead and wait for this to cure, and then once it does, I'll demold it. All right, guys, now that everything is cured up, I'm going to go ahead and take these straws out real quick. You know, you can use a little needle nose pliers, or just actually let me go ahead and grab mine to make this a little bit easier. All right, naturally it's not where it should be, so I'm going to use these pliers, which are a little heavy duty, but they'll get the job done. Yeah, okay. All right, that's done. Going to use my drill to remove these. Be careful if you use a drill, because sometimes the resin will cause the nut to get stuck and it will catch your finger. I've had that happen many times. You'll notice as I'm using the drill, I use it in pulse like that. Just a few little squeezes of the trigger. That way I'm not pulling full force on it. I'm gonna pop these out. Also, do you guys like how fast that cured? That is some movie magic. Fantastic TV show when I was a kid. Wish it was still on, but everything's kind of like CG nowadays, so yeah. Nonetheless, no worries, and I've got no problems with CG. I think it's great. So we're gonna open this up. Normally you want to use like a little flathead screwdriver, but I have a little nick here that I can usually grab, but I would recommend using a flathead. So the resin jacket came off, which is fine. That means that I can peel this back slowly. I don't want to yank anything out. I don't want to pull too fast. Just let it come out naturally. Set that aside. All right, this is the interior. All these are the little spouts, the sprigs that I can just, this is still green enough to where I can just pull these right off and not worry about them. Even if it was fully cured, I can snap them right off. So I like to do it when it's a little bit greener. Okay, So to get this out, these gloves are a little loose on me. Squeeze my tongue depressor in there. Like I said, I'm just going to go around the side. It's all about slow and slow. I'm not trying to yank this thing out. I'm loosening up all the keys that I have registered. And voila. Also set this aside. Now that this is out of its fiberglass casing, I can peel this off. And we now have a new jitters cast. All this flashing can be removed by hand initially. Just peeling it off. I can make an ASMR video off of this alone, I'm sure, because it is deeply satisfying. Clean it out. Move this aside. Hide all this in my hands to make it look official. And yeah, that's how I cast my masks. That's one way that I cast my masks. That's injection. The other way is the more common method that a lot of people use. That's slush casting. That's where you pour resin into the open face mold, slush the resin around in multiple layers until you get a thickness that you like, and yeah, pop it out. All right, guys, that's how I cast my masks. So once again, if you have any other questions, whatever videos you may like to see of what I do, add it in the comments below and I will try to make a video of it. Or if you just have any questions about this video, just go ahead and put them right on down. Also, please like and subscribe to my channel. You guys are the only reason that I'm able to do this. So just please spread the news, and hopefully I'll just keep on making more videos. Thanks, guys. Stop it. I need to stop the video.